How much can you tell about someone by the way they stand? Turns out, it's quite a lot. Stick around for this skill bit video on character creation and body centers, and I'll tell you how it works. Hi, my name is Jonathan. Let's talk for a minute about what I mean when I say centers of the body. This is where a movement or a gesture comes from, physically speaking. If it's a thought, it'll be something that is driven from the head center. A feeling, it'll be driven from the heart. And if it is a willpower or a passion issue, it'll be driven from the pelvis. Now, body centers come from a lot of different angles in the theater world and the acting world. There's Checkov technique, there's Meyerhold Biomechanics, there's mime characterization, statue work. There's all sorts of places this comes from. I'm going to give you in the description a bunch more resources and places to go for more specific techniques. What we are doing is we're going to start talking about driving movement from each of these centers, because they're not much use if we just think of them in abstract, like, yes, I'm a heart-centered person. That's not what these are about. Understanding this and exploring how these pieces interact, this unlocks a lot of opportunity. Now, let's look at an exercise we can use to travel through all of this. I call this inside out, or to start, because we're going to start with the heart center, I call it chest arms. You're going to want to take a comfortable, not wide, but not narrow stance, and we are going to just sink in that just a bit. Our arms are going to raise out here just to get them out of the way. And we are going to try to drive our inside first without moving any of this exterior section of our body. We want this moment of twisting and resisting the torso. And then you're going to release and let everything fall. We're going to try this side to side, up and down. That's it, just sort of a little plus sign. We're going to try to twist our chest to one side. Resist, 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 and release. Reversing this, twist your chest back to the center, resist, 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 release. I'm going to go a little bit faster here, where we go chest, arms, back to the center. Make sure I'm centered and not stuck in some weird twisty bit. Going up, chest goes up first, so I try to pull this handle. Chest goes to middle, pulls my arms back down, chest back to middle. Now that we have the exercise down, let's talk about what it means. Most cultures in the world, not all of them, but most have language around their torso when they are feeling things. I love you with all of my heart. I have a bad feeling in my gut. You took my breath away. So when I move this first, unconsciously, people understand that these are emotions. This is feeling something first. I love something. Feel that love, and then the rest of me comprehends. This can be extreme, like in our exercise. It can be subtle. Oh, yeah. Let's move on to moving our head. This time, instead of chest moving first, we're going to move our head. Head goes first, nothing else moves. Resist, 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 let it go. Back to the center. Other side. Middle, up, down, cool, middle. Our head is where most of our senses are. So if we encounter a smell or a sight, we need to engage it first. If it is a curiosity thing, if it is an interest, it is a head first. Head, heart, will. Our will center gets a bit tricky, because now we're not thinking about thoughts, we're not thinking about emotions, we have this weird tricky thing called willpower. The other side of this is there is a little bit of sexiness, naughtiness that comes about using this, because this is where the bits are. And that's just a weird cultural thing that is both, yes, it's a part of this, and no, it's not, depending on intent. You've got to keep your audience and your intent in mind. Will is something a little bit deeper. Physically, it's deeper. It's easy to be interested in something. It's harder to feel something, it's really hard to do something about it. Weird life lesson. I don't know. So let's do our exercise with the will center. We drive the will. Resist it, and then follow. Don't stick this out and leave the rest behind. This is right on top of yourself, just twisting in place. Back to the middle. Twist, resist, back. Twist, resist, back. Twist, resist, back. Up, down, down below, back to middle. Not bad. That finishes out all 3 centers. There's more you can do. You can start driving movement in a walking pattern. You can walk around the room trying to drive each step or each change of direction with each of these centers. You can do that on your own. I'm not going to make you watch me walk around in the white void. Hey, look at that guy walking around in the nothing that we all feel inside. Now that we have a bit of an understanding about how to move with all 3 of the centers, let's talk about building a character and how they combine. A super simple example of creating a character is pick 3 words, roughly equivalent to each of the centers. I'm going to pick incurious, proud, and cowardly. And we're going to build those physically and see how that creates a character as opposed to a method version of feeling everything, connecting it to experiences, and then portraying the character. This is very much about what's happening outside, controlling and informing what happens inside. Let's start with the head. So curious would be, let me get my senses out there. This is the scientist. This is the little kid who's just stuck with his face to the window. Incurious is going to be the opposite. I'm going to remove that curiosity. I will not stick my neck out. I will just stand here. Already we've got a little bit of something. I have taken all of my senses, I have pulled them back, right there. Proud. Proud is I am so full of my own emotions and so full of myself, I'm going to push myself on you. I'm going to push my heart out there and show it to you. Look at my heart. Look at my feelings. Look at me. I am pretty cool. If I was less sure of myself, I would collapse in. I would be removing myself, my feelings from you. You've seen this. In every wallflower or introvert ever, they'll be hiding their torso, their feelings from you. Be like, nope, you don't get my feelings. You get everything because it's all awesome. Lastly, we can talk about cowardly. My willpower is here. If I am stable in myself, I will stand right on top of myself. I will be here. If I'm not sure, I will kind of pull away. I'll be like, no, I'm not really sure. I don't really want to be here. You can kind of feel this running away. The opposite can be funny more often than not, where we try to assert our will on things. Obviously, this has some sort of connotations to it. It can also be creepy. You can do this subtly. So if this is neutral, then I can be about here, and I'm not doing this extreme thing, but there's a little bit of, yeah, I want something from you. So, cowardly is pulling that away. I don't want to be here. I want gone. Put all 3 together. Incurious, proud, cowardly. And you can kind of keep those and move them around. You have a character. Very different than someone who is very happy to be here and very proud and also incurious. That is just a start of how all of these things can interact. The classic macho man, is very twisted, like parts of them are in conflict of which direction do they want to go. Real quick, like cheat, watch cartoons. The classic movie villain tries to assert their will, stay emotionally distant, but they really want to know what's going on. We have just figured out how to build that person with the body centers. That's going to wrap it up for this sprint on body centers and creating character. I hope it was informative. I hope it taught you something you may not have experienced before. This is a lot of information. Feel free to go review and review. If you are interested in more of this, please leave a comment down below. If you have a question, leave a comment as well. I will get back to you. I will read everything, I promise. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram at jlowthemime. Just look those up. They should be in the description as well. Make sure to do all the subscribe, likes, and follows, or whatever algorithmy thing is sitting below this video. That really helps me out. Until next time then, I'll catch you later.